Hey guys, this is Joel with the Fincastle Pokemon Gym. As I've said before, that I like to sit back and look at the format and work on decks until I think they are ready to present. I'm sure today's deck got some coverage when the race to me first every list took place back when Stellar Crown was released, but if it did, that was all it received and everyone just moved on to the next thing, because I have not seen this deck since. I started the reboot of my channel with Hisuian Zoroark VSTAR because it was my favorite deck at the time, and it remains one of the few that I keep a physical copy of and carry with me in the event that I ever get time to play somewhere while we're traveling with the business. The version I presented at the time was very good and still is, and like most decks, as sets come out they either introduce something to drive that older deck from the format or give that old deck something to make it even stronger. Hisuian Zoroark VSTAR is definitely the latter. What Stellar Crown brought was the possibility to expand your bench, which in Zoroark's case means increasing its damage output. But the Stadium Area 0 is required for that, meaning that the old Gatejaw Bog had to go, which is not a problem, and I'll go over that when I get to the list. But for Area 0 to work, you need a Terra type on your bench. So I just did a search of the options. And honestly, any of these guys could go in here. You could just put them there just to meet that requirement. But you really want that Pokemon to offer something other than just taking up space. The obvious answer is Terapagos EX, because he uses double turbo energy. And I'm sure that's what most of those decks did. But I did not see how he added anything. Two others stood out to me as pretty good options. The first is the Cornerstone Ogerpon EX, because he can use that same double turbo energy, and he can wall against decks with abilities, but his attack is pretty meh, especially since it does not hit for weakness. The second is the Wellspring Ogerpon EX. While he doesn't offer any ability, he brings an excellent utility attack, as I like to call it. In the same way that Radiant Greninja can pick off low HP basics in the Chinpow list, which I promise to get to next, Ogerpon offers the same thing here. Let's take a quick look at Wellspring Mask Ogerpon EX. Keeping in mind that this is a Zoroark list, not an Ogerpon one. Wellspring Ogerpon is a basic water type with 210 HP and that Terra designation, which is important to the deck. And as a reminder, all Terras are protected from attack damage just while on the bench. I don't know if I've ever pointed that out here or not. He's got 2 attacks, lightning weakness, and a 1 energy retreat cost. The only attack that matters is called Torrential Pump. For a water and 2 colorless energies, Pump does 100 damage, which is not very much, and if you choose to shuffle 3 energies attached to him back into the deck, it also does 120 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Now in this deck we are using double turbo energy, so those numbers adjust to 80 to the active and 100 to the benched, because double turbo reduces all attack damage by 20. Which is still enough to take out 2 small basics, and also very important, the energy is preserved for later use, which is why I really like this as a partner for Hisuian Zoroark. But enough about him, let's get to the list. I think you'll see the similarities to the Terapagos list, as we can take advantage of many of its tools. I've got 2 Fan Rotom to get things started, and that can help you search out Hoot Hoot, Doduo, their evolutions, and once they are down, Noctowl lets you get those 2 trainers. Dodrio helps you draw, but more importantly, he gets damage onto your bench with its zooming draw ability. You definitely want to have multiple of those in play as you get this thing set up. Squawkabilly helps you dig early, and you can afford to throw away a bit in this deck because you do have a Stretcher and a Pal Pad. There's also a Pheasantipity EX to help you draw as the game goes along. And thanks to his energy requirements, you can attack with him if you have to, although I don't think I ever have. Then there are the 3 Gengar. Gengar, as you know, is designed to be thrown away early, so that you can use Netherworld Door, his ability, and play him directly back onto your bench, and then put 3 damage counters on yourself in exchange for doing so. Then you move those damage counters with Damage Pump so that Zoroark can do massive amounts of damage. The trick with Gengar that I love in this deck, and this is why I play 3 of them, is that once your bench is expanded to 8 spaces, you can let Gengar have 3 of them. And if your stadium gets bumped, you just toss all 3 into the discard pile. Then you can just get them right back as soon as you can replace the stadium. And that synergy is amazing in this deck. It's one way you just can keep a full bench of 8 Pokemon almost through the entire game. For my ace spec, I went with Secret Box here because its search power is perfect for this deck. I don't have any tools to search out, but the supporter, the item, and the stadium are perfect for keeping things going. I think the only other card to highlight is the supporter Crispin. He may warrant a second copy, but for now I've just got the one. But he lets you get 2 different basic energies. You attach one to one of your Pokemon and you put the other one into your hand. This is how you can catch your opponent off guard and power up Ogerpon in one turn. You can use Crispin to attach the water and then attach the double turbo from your hand, which is crazy if you go second against a deck that has to evolve. And since Crispin allows you to get another type, I included a Psychic Energy, so you can attack with Gengar. Again, I don't probably do that in this deck very often, but it's a nice option to have if somebody is playing a lot of walls against you. That's everything in the deck. Now, I did have someone in the comments last week ask to see more of my opponent's turn, which I normally edit out, since we aren't really learning anything new by watching people play the same decks. But for this week, I'll try that out, which means I'll only show you one matchup for the sake of time. So let me know what you think and which type of video you prefer to see in the future. So the match we're going to show today is against Terapagos. That is the thing at the moment. I did win the coin toss, so I am going first. Top an Ultra Ball there, so we're going to use that. Go ahead and toss some water and the Zoroark. I'm fine throwing away the VSTAR because I've got that stretcher in my hand. I'll use that to get the Fan Rotom. That'll let me get some of my basics down to set up my next few turns. I'll get a Doduo, a Hoot, and a Noctowl. So with that Zoroark and the Noctowl, I can get pretty much everything I need on my next turn. I'll go ahead and attach there, and I'm just going to end. See, on their turn, they've just got 2 Hoots. They're going to Ultra Ball. Looks like probably going to do the same thing I just did. There's that Fan Rotom. Threw away a Pidgey out there. With the Rotom, we get looks like 2 Hoots and a Pidgey. Yeah, there's that Pidgey. We got Night Stretcher, I guess, to get that Pidgey IDX back. It'd be nice if they let you see that a little longer. And then I'm going to get Ionode. And, well, get more cards, but less to work with. They're going to Nest Ball, get out a Terapagos, and then they'll just end their turn. I top draw another Zoroark. Not too much I can do here. Got Nest Ball. I'm going to go ahead and just get the Ogerpon down. Going to have a couple targets for them to have to choose what they're going to deal with. And then I'm just going to hit and run for a 10. That double turbo reduces that damage and send up the Zoroark without energy. On their turn, they're going to research, throw away 2 Duskulls. I'm not sure how many they play. Apparently 3. There's a third one. They get the stadium down so he can bench 8 now, and there comes that Noctowl with its ability. Get Energy Lotto and a Switch. I'm going to Nest Ball, get another Terapagos. I guess that gives them their 2 Terras down so they can stay at 8. That Lotto does hit an Energy. You get one more bench down, they could knock out my Zoroark. I'm going to go ahead and switch, and looks like they do not have another bench, so they'll just hit me for 190. I top draw a Zoroark VSTAR, which is a great out of the bad hand that I have. I'm going to go ahead and switch the damaged Zoroark out to the one with the energy and evolve him. We'll go ahead and get another Doduo down. We'll go ahead and use Damage Pump before we toss our hand. Get some of that damage off of the damaged Zoroark V, get it spread across the bench, and then we'll Phantom Star and definitely improve our hand. We'll go ahead and evolve to our Noctowl. Only run one of those in here and use Jewel Seeker. With that, we'll get Ultra Ball, and I'm going to go ahead and get a Research. Wanted to get that Ultra Ball for a Dodrio. First, we're going to get energy down on Zoroark. We'll bring back in the Gengar that we threw away. Then Ultra Ball away the Nest Ball and the Stadium. I don't think we'll need any more of the Stadiums in this matchup anyway. Get the Dodrio and evolve him. We're going to get my second Terra down with my other Ogerpon. Then we'll use the Dodrios to draw and damage himself. Get Secret Box. I'm not going to use this turn. That's Definitely great for later. I'm going to go ahead and crispen now. I'll get that psychic energy into my hand, and we'll attach water to the other ogre pond. Or the one that was there first, I guess. You can see that I have enough to do 230, so that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and knock out this Terapagos. And we'll take 2 prizes there. Get 2 cards that we don't need, which is fine. We need stuff to throw away. They send up their second Terapagos, and then they will use one of their mini Noctowl to Jewel Seeker. And they get Research and Vitality Band. Like even with Vitality Band, they won't be able to hit enough to take out this VSTAR. They attach their Ultra Ball, get that Pheasantipity. And in Research, that's a pretty good, well-played hand to maximize everything they had. Get that double turbo down, and they will use their Stretcher to get back a Terapagos. Again, I wish they would let you see what they're taking a little easier than that. Use Pheasantipity to draw 3 more, and they will Unified Beatdown for 230, which is maximum output for this deck until they either evolve to a Dusclops or a Dusknoir. Now I've got the turn set up that I want with my Ogre Pond. I'm going to go ahead and use my Secret Box first and get rid of just get some cards out of my hand I know I don't need. Get that Iono. I'll go ahead and grab a Stadium, even though I don't really need that. Give me something else I can throw away. And now I'm going to get Pal Pad so I can put a couple supporters back in. Going to boss up the Duskull. Then I'm just going to manually retreat my Zoroark and come up with my Ogre Pond. I'll go ahead and Pal Pad in. I'll put that Crispin back in because I'm going to be putting the energy back in here in just a moment. So get Crispin back available. I'm going to go ahead and attach my Psychic Energy to Gengar. I will draw 1 more with Dodrio. Get my double turbo back. And then we will go ahead and Torrential Pump. And yes, I'm going to put the energy back. And we'll take out the Duskull. And we'll do 120 and take out that Pidgey on the bench, which really cripples any of the extra damage that this deck can do. We'll take 2 more prizes, get a Pheasantipity out of the prizes, which is always nice. They send up, they still have 2 Terapagos in play. Send up the one with the belt. They use that Stretcher to get back that Pidgey. Get him down, attach energy to the benched Terapagos. We're going to Jewel Seeker again. Saw that Iono, that's always a treacherous thing to have to deal with. They play Poffin, looks like nothing small to get with that. There comes the Iono to put me into 2. They still haven't taken a prize yet, so they get 6. I get a, not much there. They get a Blood Moon Ursa Ring, or Ursa Luna down, excuse me. And allows them to hit for their 230 and take out my Ogre Pond. So I'm going to send up my Zoroark with the energy. Top an Ultra Ball. I want to keep that damage pump, so I'm going to draw Dodrio. That gives me 2 cards I can throw away with Ultra Ball. Just use that to get my Hisuian Zoroark VSTAR. It's very tempting to play a little bit more with the cards that I had, but all I need to do is just enough to win the game. So we'll damage pump 2 down off of the VSTAR, and that will allow me to max out at least what I can do at the moment. And we will attack for 380, which is definitely something that Terapagos cannot do, and take 2 prizes and end that game. Well, there's a little more thorough look at a full match with this updated version of Hisuian Zoroark VSTAR. Again, let me know if you prefer this style, or if you'd like a quicker highlight style review of several matches, as most of my other videos are. I really like this version of the deck. It does not have as consistent of a draw engine as the older deck had with V-Barrel, but Dodrio offers some, and I think it may be important to get Pheasantipity EX down sooner, which I couldn't do in the match I showed you because they couldn't knock anything out and make any room for me. I can see how Dusknoir can set up multiple prize turns for Terapagos EX, but they've got to get it out, which seems reliant on getting Pidgeot out. It seems like a lot of moving pieces, which is usually the kind of deck that is only strong in the hands of an experienced player or somebody that just plays just that deck a lot. And that seems to be the experience I have online against Terapagos EX. I can't swear to it, but I don't think I've lost to it. and that's playing a whole variety of decks against it. So, back to the title question, is this Hisuian Zoroark list better than Terapagos EX? Well, for me, that's 100% yes, but that is surely swayed by my love for the Zoroark list, and for my basic indifference to the Terapagos list at the moment. I feel certain I could win with Terapagos, but I'm just not motivated by it. I've got the base one built, and I'm trying to play around with some variants that are more interesting to me, and I will surely present them here if I find something fun that I enjoy, and I think that you will enjoy as well. But thank you guys for watching and supporting my channel. Please continue to do so in whatever manner works for you. We're almost out of this marathon of shows, so hopefully I can get back to a weekly release schedule soon. So just remember to get out, find a place to play some Pokemon, make some new friends, and enjoy the game. Until next time, be not afraid. Later.